Congratulations, you finally made it to 4 p.m. You know what that means. Happy hour. It's time to kick back, relax, and dive into the world of sports with the Young and Norvelle Show. Whether you're catching up on the latest scores, analyzing the big plays, or gearing up for tonight's games, we've got you covered. So grab a cold one, settle in, and let's talk sports. Here they are, Patrick Young and Terry Norvelle.
Okay, so the lunch crowd is slowly cycling out of Sliders Oyster Bar, and the happy hour crowd is slowly cycling into Sliders Oyster Bar down in Neptune Beach, a fun place, one of my fun hangout places. I've been a Sliders Oyster Bar patron for a very, very long time down here in Neptune Beach. We do our show live every Thursday. Glad to be here. Want to thank everybody involved in Sliders Oyster Bar for putting up with us, number one. Number two, for the great hospitality and the best seafood, the freshest seafood you can imagine is served right here at Sliders Oyster Bar. They feature, obviously, safe harbor seafood from the ocean to your plate. It doesn't get a whole lot fresher. It's almost impossible to get fresher from that ocean right there to your plate right here on the patio or inside the dining area at Sliders Oyster Bar. Full service oyster bar, of course, hence the name Sliders Oyster Bar. Full service liquor bar. Just a fun hangout, full meal, hangout, people watch, whatever you want to do. And this will be one of, if not the hub, this Saturday for yet another Dancing in the Streets festival that happens once a year in May. Dancing in the Streets is a big fun time. If you're down here, coming down here, if you know, you know. If you're new, if you want to come down for the first time, when you get parked and settled, Dancing in the Streets, the streets are obviously closed off, bands everywhere. It's just a fun summer kickoff. Make sure you make one of, if not your first stop, Sliders Oyster Bar. You will not be disappointed. A lot to get to today. The Jaguars schedule is out. I want to go over it. My thoughts, your thoughts, Casey's thoughts. Brent Beaird will join us a little bit later. Patrick Young, hopefully. I'm sure they've all looked at the schedule. I've got some legitimate thoughts, good, bad, and indifferent with regard to the schedule. It's hard to say it's hard to call any NFL schedule hard or easy or in the middle. They're all the same, really. I mean, if you think about it, yes, you rotate your divisions that you play and all, but you know what? There are 32 teams. It's not college football, and there's 130 whatever teams. There are 32 franchises. You play inside your division twice in the regular season. You're going to have an NFL schedule. The NFL schedules are you know what? The really good teams win a lot of the games, and the not so good teams lose a lot of games. But I want to go over my thoughts, your thoughts, everybody's thoughts on the Jacksonville Jaguars schedule as it was released. God bless the NFL. They are so good at what they do. They made the NFL schedule release a mega event. Everything the NFL does is mega, and they rarely miss. And they even, tip of the hat to the NFL, there's this power struggle right now with the AI, with the computer overload. Everything's got to be data versus the eyeball. Watch the games, watch the player. There's that struggle going on. The NFL did a very smart thing with the schedule release. They went to all the franchises and said, hey, let your nerds have some fun. Most of I think all the franchises, as we welcome Casey Kurtz, our producer. Casey, if you've got your ears on back there.
Yep.
Am I correct? I think every franchise, I guess mandated by the NFL, said, hey, let your AI nerds create and do something around the schedule. Did everybody do that?
Like a schedule release video, you're saying?
Yeah, kind of a production, a schedule release production thing.
It's a big thing.
I didn't look at many of them. I think the Jaguars did one where a workout guy, I don't know. But
yeah, he's very famous.
Isn't that smart, though, for the NFL? They take 32 franchises and say, hey, I know there's still some consternation between too much data-driven versus but they let the nerds play, right? And it was good.
Yeah, I mean, more time. Like the Chargers have won this multiple years in a row. Really good stuff. The Jags a couple years ago won awards for their schedule release videos. So, um, yeah, there's a lot of good stuff, and they're all like different. Like the Brent we were talking about earlier on Brent and Austin, but the Browns did like a weird like time shape thing that was pretty cool. The Chargers did Minecraft. The Jags had the morning routine guy in. So yeah, there's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, and God bless the NFL. They're so good at what they do. They rarely miss. I mean, the schedule release was a little bit like it had a feel the next day of the Super Bowl commercials. Everybody watches the commercials and rates
definitely.
the commercials and talks about it. The NFL has created a secondary Super Bowl's commercial. I mean, God dang, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a good call.
Do you think the NFL, I don't know this, do they farm out their marketing or do they do it in-house? I don't know. They're good. However they do it, they're good at it, man.
Mm-hmm. They are good at it, without a doubt.
I don't know. Casey, while we got you on, you've peeked at the schedule, obviously, for the Jaguars.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's a whole lot of difference in schedules. I mean, there are 32 good NFL franchises. Do you have any thoughts, heavy, early, heavy, late, easy, middle? Have you broke it down much?
Yeah, I mean, so here's a look at the schedule if you're watching. Marcel Robinson made this a very quality graphic, I would say. But yeah, there's a lot of, I think, intrigue early because you've got some really tough games early that you need to like you have to beat the Panthers. I think you have to beat the Texans there because of what you have with San Francisco and the Bengals, and that's a tough little run. And then obviously there's a long run. You go to London, and then you're on bye, and then you go to Vegas, and then Houston, and you're not home a lot. You do play the Chargers at home, but then you're back on the road for 2, so you've got 2 home games in the span of basically 2 months. And then if you can make it to the back end of the schedule when you're still alive, potentially, I mean, there's a lot of winnable games there at the back. So you got to kind of weather it early.
It looks like, and I'm glad you said what I wanted to lead when I got a chance to jump in. You said this may sound absolutely nuts, but I'm going to stick by it. When I looked at the schedule, when it came out yesterday, last night, and then this morning digesting it, putting this show together, and obviously this is topic number 1, the Jacksonville Jaguars 2025 schedule has been released. Casey called me crazy, but I'm going to stick by this. There is one game to me that sticks out, and it's blinking like a red light, and I go, I think the most important game the Jacksonville Jaguars have to win, and this goes on, I think it's week 1. Casey, I think they have to beat the Panthers week 1.
I would agree. And
then, because I think the first 5 or at least the first 5 games, that scares me, man. I don't think the Jaguars are going to be really good. I think they still have a lot of holes. And I think, man, you better get the Panthers in the first 5. That's obviously week 1. You better then go pray you can find a second win. They really need to win game 1. They need to win them all, obviously. Game 1, Casey, and game 3.
Correct.
You really have to go beat the. If you really think, okay, maybe we can throw knuckles with the Texans, you can't lose week 3 at home, can you?
No, absolutely not. You need to beat the Texans in week 3 for multiple reasons. What they did to your quarterback last time you played them, that needs to be addressed. And you like that. Me and Brent were talking about this earlier. That's one of the biggest games, if not the biggest game on the schedule, because it's expected you'll beat Carolina. It's not a given though. Carolina's better. They played good football at the end of the year last year, but you still have to beat them.
Yeah.
Cincinnati is very good. You got to go to their place. And then for what you have after week 3, I mean, you could realistically be looking at 1-4 when you host Seattle. But if you're 2-3 and Seattle is not expected to be good, you could be 3-3 going to London and you have a chance. What you cannot be is 1 or 2 wins going to London.
Chance. Well said. And you have a chance. Man, you pretty much looked at all my notes, man. I totally agree with you. I think you're all over it. You've got to beat the Panthers. Now, you probably know more Panthers than I, so I'm going to defer here.
Mhm.
I do know this. 2 years ago, it wasn't last year, right? 2 years ago, the Panthers came in here, and Casey, now they played them late in the year. It was week 13, 14,
Yep.
very late in the year. I'm telling you, I was at the game in the press box. I went to a bunch of first 10, 12 years, covered a bunch of Jaguar games in their existence, and there were years where the Jaguars put pathetic teams on the field. I'm telling you, that Panthers team 2 years ago that came into Jacksonville week 14 order, that might have been, I think that's the worst football team I ever saw that calls themselves an NFL. They were terrible 2 years ago, Casey. Where are they at now? What do you know their draft and all?
Yeah.
Do you know much about their?
Yeah, I mean, listen, that, by the way, that was one of the worst teams ever assembled. There's a
They were
reason
terrible.
that they ended up with the first overall pick after that, which they had
Yeah.
since traded away and ended up being Caleb Williams. But that team was terrible. It was one of the only games Jags won down the stretch in a total debacle of a season that ended up being. But listen, the Panthers are better than that significantly. They were playing really decent football at the end of last year. Bryce Young came back in and did some stuff. Xavier Legette turning into being a good player. They drafted Tet McMillan in the first round, so they've got receivers.
Okay.
They bring in Rico Dowdle, who was good for the Cowboys last year at running back. Chuba Hubbard, they signed an extension. Adam Thielen is still there, so they are on offense capable, unlike the team that you last saw here when Carolina was here. And then on defense, they do have some pieces. J.C. Horn's a very nice player, so they're not bad.
And you remember that 2 years ago?
Mhm.
I was in the press box looking at Carolina on that weekend, whatever it was, late in the season. I'm like, this is the worst NFL team I've ever seen. And I felt sorry for Bryce Young.
Mm-hmm.
I literally felt sorry. They had nothing going on around him. So they've turned it around pretty decent.
Yeah, they're significantly better than they were.
Man, with that said, I'm going to stick by. I think that first game is a must win for the Jaguars. If they can get the first one. Now, as the schedule came out, I kind of had my feeling what I think the Jaguars are going to be record-wise and what I'm going to go with officially. And it hasn't really swayed because everybody plays a tough NFL schedule. You're in the NFL, for God's sakes. I've got them 6-11, 7-10. Most of your Vegas type odds, if they ask you to bet an over/under, they set the Jags at about 7.5 to force you to either go, are they going to win 8?
Right.
God, or are they going to go 7 or less? So I didn't do it because of some of the Vegas stuff. I'm in that 6-11, 7-10. For them to get to 7-10, though, they cannot open up 0-1. I think that would be a disaster, don't you?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. If you're going to get somewhere near there, here's another look at it. I mean, again, you're talking about at the worst, I think after London at the worst, you have to have won 3 football games at worst, because then down the stretch you can go, they could beat a Raiders team. It's not a given. Pete Carroll, and it's going to be different now, but you could certainly beat Houston on any given day. Arizona's beatable, and then that last bottom quadrant here, Titans, you got to beat them. Colts 2 times there is good. Jets and Broncos is a tough game going out there, but there's a lot of winnable games there. So if you're getting to 7, if you're getting to 8, you got to have 3 wins after London at the bare minimum.
And the wild card, I look at it, I've got first 5: Carolina, Cincy, Houston, San Fran, KC. You got to get Carolina. I hope you can find one more in there. At Cincy is going to be hard, I think, week 2. Cincinnati at some point, they're the football equivalent of LSU. LSU always loses their opener, and it haunts them. Cincy, why does Cincy start so slow? They always start slow.
We talked about that earlier too. It's just something that always happens, and it does. I mean, listen, they're not easy to beat either way, but I mean, having them week 2 makes you think they might do some Cincinnati type things and lose that game.
Yeah. What the Jaguars could benefit from as well, you gotta hope Indy's again. The last thing you want is Indy to what did they do? They went tight end, I guess, early in their draft. I think they went one of those good tight ends.
Yeah, Tyler Warren.
I'm not an Anthony Richardson guy, but the Jaguars really need Indy to be bad Indy again, because then they've got them 2 times in the last 5 games.
Yep.
That would be nice if you could steal 2 more wins. You don't need Indy to figure anything out. And do you have a breakdown on Indy, the Colts? Are they destined to be the bad Colts again, or do they have a shot to be a pain in the ass these last 2 or 5 games?
They have talented players, but it all comes down to the quarterback. I kind of wish you had Indy earlier in the season, at least one time, because you would think by December 7th they're going to know their quarterback situation, whether it's Anthony Richardson or heck, maybe even Riley Leonard. So I wish you kind of got them earlier before they figured that part out. But outside of the quarterback, Indy is talented. They just have not been able to figure out the quarterback since Andrew Luck retired.
Yeah, and gosh darn, they don't even get them until week 14, for goodness sakes. Ooh, yeah, you make a good point. If they're going to be bad Indy, get your wins. Get your wins under your belt. Because, they play Indy 2 of the last 5 games, right? Their final 5. And I kind of busted the schedule down. First 5, final 5. And then the middle it looks doable in the middle. Final 5, Indy, the Jets, at Denver, at Indy, and Tennessee. If Tennessee is kind of a work in progress as well, I mean, Indy, Tennessee, you almost got to get 2 of those. Maybe you can get all 3 of those at the back end. Man, I tell you, that Carolina game, because it's at home, Casey, I think that's one of the biggest games of the year for the Jaguars.
Got to win it.
You mess around and lose that thing. I'm of the belief that Cincinnati is not going to be a slow start. I think they got. I know. What are they having some issues with? Is it Hendrickson, the defensive end?
Yes.
They're having some issues with, but they got their receivers back under fold, right?
Yes.
They got their offense. I just can't bank on Cincinnati again X year in a row, 3 years in a row, 4 years in a row. If the Jaguars don't get Carolina, I don't like their chances at Cincinnati. And then Houston rolls in. That's also, if you want to try and start saying, hey, let's make this division up for grabs, you got to knock off Houston in your place.
Absolutely.
3, don't you?
Yeah, no, I think Houston is the one that it's early and all that, but I think as I look at this, Houston will be the one that decides what they do. Like, if you can beat Houston there and you're realistically 2-1 going to play San Francisco, who may not be good, that'd be great. And then at worst, if you lose that game, you got Chiefs at 2-2, and the Chiefs, although they don't lose a lot, are beatable. So I think Houston is the major player here, because 2-1 or 2-2 looks a whole lot better than 1-3 when you play Kansas City on Monday night.
And am I correct? This is like this will be the second regular season game in a row Kansas City comes here. They were here a year or 2 ago, right? And not counting playoff, regular season.
Yes,
I think they came here.
They were here.
Yeah, because I remember Chris Jones decided to show up. Right?
That's right. That was week 2 a couple of years ago.
Yes. And all of a sudden, Chris Jones shows up and plays interior defensive line, a
Killed
defensive
him.
end.
Yep.
And he played like 40 snaps, and he was in the backfield 38 of them.
That's right. Yeah, he dominated that game in a game that he wasn't even going to play in. That was bad.
What was it? Wasn't supposed to play. Casey, do you have a feel for a record? I mean, I know it's early in camps and mini camps and preseason. Do you have a feel for a record? Jaguar-wise, too early?
I think
7
to 8 wins is kind of where that falls.
7, 8. Yeah.
And I think you can feel good about that, by the way, if you're the Jags.
Yeah, 7 or 8. And I still think that we'll never get to know this unless we're inside or have a mega mole inside. I still think, though, that if you're Liam Cohen, his agent, if you're Shad Khan, when you all got together, I'm not going to say that they all agreed that this year is a throwaway, but I some of the things they've done or not done tells me that they've gotten a little bit of assurance. Hey, man, this is a couple-year turnaround, not a one-year turnaround. There's just things that have happened or not happened that I think Shad Khan's probably told Cohen and them, hey, man, we don't want to throw 2025 away, but we understand this is get the house in order. Now, we're going to want some results next year, 2026, but I think they understand, and I know they made the trade to get the big draft pick. I get all that, but I think they are playing a little bit with house money year one. I mean, you don't want a 2-14.
No,
you don't want a 4-13. But I think they're playing. I think they know they're playing a little bit with house money in 2025.
No, I'd agree, and I think there's a path. I'll say I think there's a path where you double your wins from last year and feel good about that. So yeah. I would agree with you that that's kind of the thing you're operating under, but I think there's a realistic chance that you are significantly and should be significantly better and have something really good to build off of going into now what'll be 2 years from today.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, before we go to break here for the first time on the program, you know how the NFL works. You've been around a long time. If the Jaguars going into their final 5 games, if they can at least have 5 wins. The NFL, the last 3 or 4 weeks of the NFL season every year can be brutal. A lot of times you run 2 teams that are totally out of it. It's a dog game. Or one team that's totally out of it against a team that's totally in it. The point I'm making, the NFL is littered with seasons where the last 4 or 5 games, you can stack a few wins, even if you're a bad team. Even if you should have been a 4-win team, you catch Indy twice and they're done. But you go steal 2 wins and get to 6.
Yeah.
So if the Jaguars can get to that final 5 stretch, if Indy, and I think Indy is kind of the swing franchise in that final 5. They play them twice. If Indy is bad and they've quasi thrown in the towel, which they might, I mean, that's late in the year. You go get 2 at Indy, you steal 1. There's 3 in your final 5. If you can make it with 5 going in, 8 and 9 makes 17. You know.
Yep.
And then you brag, as you just said a moment ago, you brag all season. Hey, we doubled our wins. We doubled our wins.
Yep. Just that easy.
Yeah, because you know, man, the end of the NFL season, those last 3 those weeks, 18, 17, 16, 15, there's some bad football played.
Definitely.
When the wrong teams match up, it's ugly football, but it can also be steal-win football games as well. You can steal some wins.
Without a doubt.
All right, let's take a break here. 1 in, a long way to go. We take it till 6 o'clock here at Sliders Oyster Bar. Oyster specials on Thursday. The liquor bar open. Good happy hour crowd rolling in. The Oyster Bar always open, hence the name, Sliders Oyster Bar. I'm on the patio. People starting to fill in. Happy hour going, and it is a gorgeous day. Don't forget, as we go to break, if you're heading down here to the beach area, the corner, Neptune, Atlantic Beach, Saturday is Dancing in the Streets. It is a massive, massive festival down there, an annual festival, Dancing in the Streets. Very, very famous. It will be packed. Let me tell you something. If you're in the area, this Sliders Oyster Bar is one of the must go to. They will have drink stations set up. Make sure you make a stop to Sliders Oyster Bar if you're coming down for Dancing in the Streets this Saturday. Weather's supposed to be really, really nice. I hope to get down here late in the afternoon myself. All right, 1 down, a long way to go. We'll come back, talk some SEC baseball. Massive series will happen in Tallahassee and Gainesville. Major League Baseball. Brent Beaird joins us a little bit, and just want to throw out a little bit of high school baseball. We'll tell you what's going on with St. John's Country Day in a couple of hours. That and a whole lot more. The Young and Norvelle Show continues right here on Action Sports Jags when we come back.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jax 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice three-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jax app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jax 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device. You're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jax Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
Let me tell you something as we welcome you back to a Thursday edition, the Young and Norvelle Show live from our Thursday home. A long time we've been hanging out here, Sliders Oyster Bar, one of the more famous locations down in the corner area where Neptune and Atlantic Beach meet. You know where we're at, Sliders Oyster Bar, 218 First Street, Neptune Beach is the actual address. And if it's seafood that you are craving, if you are a seafood connoisseur, you cannot go wrong. Sliders, they feature their entire menu. Their seafood is provided by Safe Harbor Seafood right at Mayport, straight up the road, right out of the ocean, onto your plate. Mahi-mahi, whatever it is, shrimp maybe, lobster. They've got a seafood tower that gives you a little bit of everything. It can feed a table of, 4 or more. A lot of people get the seafood tower. You can mix and match. Boy, they know what they're doing when it comes to seafood here at Sliders Oyster Bar. And this place will be rocking. It always is rocking, but this Saturday, dancing in the streets, this is one of the hub locations for the crowd. They know how to get you in and out. Come by, say hi, enjoy a beverage, grab a bite to eat if you want to get out of the sun. You can't go wrong coming to Sliders Oyster Bar this Saturday or any day here in Neptune Beach. Casey Kurtz producing as always. We hope to hear from Patrick Young a little bit later. Brent Beard's going to join us in the second hour. I want to get to a couple things here this segment before we forget. Don't want to forget. Casey, I don't know if Brent and Austin talked about it. St. John's Country Day, they did, in fact, finish off their game yesterday, their semifinal. The Spartans, St. John's Country Day tonight, state championship, winner take all, 7 o'clock first pitch. So, unfortunately, we'll be off the air. We won't have the results to report. But St. John's Country Day tonight, 7 o'clock pitch, as I understand it. They take on Canterbury in the state final game, 1A baseball championship. Canterbury, I hope this doesn't play in, but you got to believe they're going to have the crowd behind them. Canterbury is a Fort Myers-based school, as I understand it. So, St. John's Country Day in the state championship. We hope they can bring it home late tonight back to Duval County. We'll call it Duval County, our area, as you will. St. John's Country Day playing for the state championship. Trinity Christian, they are also moving on. They're in the state semifinals. They will play next Tuesday. They're the 2A representative in our area. They will play next Tuesday. If they win, they'll play for their state championship the following Wednesday of next week. Certainly we'll get into that, certainly if they win, and we wish Trinity, the Conquerors, well as well. But the Spartans, Casey, did y'all get into that at all with or did Brent and Austin get into that much?
Just a little bit, not too much, but yeah, definitely paying attention to it.
They threw their big guy, and it won. I guess he closed it out 2-0, right? They ended up winning 2-0. Shutout in the semifinal, St. John's Country Day. And I would imagine Canterbury probably did the same thing. You would hate to leave the state playoffs with your ace not throwing a pitch during the semifinals. And it's a tough call, but that's baseball. That's baseball. So certainly we hope tomorrow when we fire up our Friday edition of the Young and Norvelle Show, we hope we are congratulating St. John's Country Day on a state baseball championship as they go into it tonight, 7 o'clock first pitch. I think that's 1A, single A baseball for the Spartans of St. John's Country Day. Casey, I know it's early. It's round 1. We're in the middle of the second major of the golf season, the PGA, Quail Hollow, I should say, which I think, what is that, in Carolina? Yeah,
North Carolina, it's in Charlotte.
Yeah. In Charlotte. Beautiful course. It's hosted a bunch of big tournaments. Have you followed what went on with, there's a marquee threesome. The marquee threesome is number 1 player in the world, Scotty Scheffler. He's playing with reigning Masters champion, Rory McIlroy, and last year's PGA championship winner, Xander Schauffele. Okay. And you know how they do that. They'll do a major pairing or two early. Did you follow what's going on with those guys today, Casey?
I have not. This is my third show of the day.
Third show of the day. So, yes. Strange situation. So that's the marquee threesome that they sent out, and they'll play together today and tomorrow. That's how it works in the cut and reset the groupings. So that's the marquee. They go out today on the back nine. That's how it works when the whole field, first couple rounds, half of them go out first tee, half of them go out 10th. So this marquee group, Scheffler, McIlroy, and Schauffele, they go out today on the back. So they start on 10. They get to, what is it? The 16th hole is a long, long par 4. All 3 of them double bogey it.
Yikes.
That is, how about all 3 double bogey that hole, which is almost unheard of at that level. And not only that level, it wasn't a couple of amateurs that somehow got in the field and the 127th number player. It was the reigning number 1, the reigning Masters champion, and last year's PGA. They all double bogeyed it. And the funniest quote of the day, and you don't hear this very often at that level of golf, Scotty Scheffler said, "Yeah, I don't think I've ever in my professional golf life, I don't think I've ever kept honors with a double bogey."
That's wild. Yeah, I know.
He had honors He had honors going in. Everybody, he doubled it. Okay, I'm going to lose my honors. And honors means the low score of the hole.
Sure.
Tees off first. Is there an advantage? I don't know, but if you're hitting it, if you're striping it, you want to go, man. You want to putt out and hey, man, put the peg in the ground and go. But Scheffler, he had honors going in. He double bogeyed it. They all double bogeyed it. So Scheffler keeps honors.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah, I guess so. And certainly we won't get deep into the PGA. Even the majors. It really takes the first 2 rounds to start setting up the storylines of the third and the Saturday third and the Sunday fourth. So certainly that thing will heat up. Second major of the year in golf, and we'll see how those guys go. Okay, let's transition to college baseball. We'll get back into this probably in hour number 2, but with Brent Beaird. But man, we have a couple of mega baseball series coming up tonight. Most of your college baseball will play your Power 4 conferences. This is the final weekend, if you will, of the regular season. And generally, most of your Power 4 conferences do what's happening. You'll go ahead, instead of playing your traditional Friday, Saturday, Sunday weekend, it'll be Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That buys you an extra day, particularly if you're traveling this final weekend. You get back, you catch your breath, you meet with your team, you get settled, and then you make travel plans to go to your conference tournament, which obviously the SEC will be in Hoover, Alabama. So almost everybody will start tonight. Their weekend series will be Thursday, Friday, Saturday. In Gainesville, the Red Hot Gators are hosting Alabama. Alabama is a good baseball team. Alabama has been ranked somewhere in that 15th in the country range most of the year. They're a good baseball team. Florida, I think, even if they were to have the improbable happen, if Florida was to get swept by Alabama, I think Florida is in the tournament now with 13. I think Florida has done enough to get in that large bid. The Gators have bigger fish to fry, though. If Florida can at least win one, but if they can get 2 and win the series, I think Florida is in a really, really nice position to not only make the regionals, but host a regional site. I think that's how big. So it's a big weekend for Florida, even though they've done a lot of damage the last 4 or 5 SEC weekends. Over in Tallahassee, a little bit different dynamic for Florida State. The Noles are trying to close out the ACC regular season title. They have a lead. They're taking on North Carolina. North Carolina is good. The ACC right now, record-wise, I think it's Florida State, NC State, Georgia Tech, and North Carolina, and they're all bunched within 2 games. North Carolina, if they swept Florida State, which is no easy task in Tallahassee, North Carolina could win the regular season. I think the regular season is big because, using Florida State as an example, if the Noles can go ahead and win the ACC regular season, certainly they are. And I'll back up. Division I baseball, their newest rankings, Florida State's 2, North Carolina's 4. So that tells you how big that series is, 2 versus 4. If the Noles could win the series, win the outright ACC regular season championship, I think what that does, that will make Florida State such a high national seed that they could go back-to-back. They will host a regional, but if you're a high enough seed, if you're in the top 8, if you win your regional and you're still alive for super regional, you get to host again. They'll bring somebody into your ballpark. That's why I think this is huge for Florida State winning the series over North Carolina. Going back to Florida, I think Florida has a good chance. If they take 2 of 3, they can win the series over Alabama. And I'm not even sure they would need 1 game in Hoover. If Florida can get 2 or 3 from Alabama, I think they're hosting the regionals. It'll be tough, I think, for Florida to be a high enough national seed to then, if they can survive a regional out of Gainesville, if they make it there, I think it'll be tough for them to get a high enough seed nationally to then host a super regional. But you can't win it unless you're in it. And we talked yesterday about Florida's path last year. It's a little bit similar. They've had kind of a similar season. The Gators last year, baseball versus the Gators this year. But the big difference is I think Florida this year, if they slide in, they could slide in and play a regional in Gainesville versus going on the road to Stillwater, Oklahoma, which was a tough place to roll into. I don't think the Gators, even if they win their regional, it would take a lot of upsets to get a super regional back in Gainesville this year. But, man, if you can lighten the load by one regional, you would take that. I mean, it's rare. And I've followed college baseball a long time. I'm one of those weirdos that likes college baseball, I guess. You do not want to cast your lot year after year saying, hey, man, we're going to go to two snake pit, blue blood college baseball programs and have to win our way out of two places. Winning your way out of the super regional, 2 out of 3, okay. But, man, is it tough to go regional. And remember, the regional round, they have 16 sites, 4 teams in each site. So you've got to slay. You may not play one team, but generally you've got to slay 3 teams. Sometime one team will be knocked out, but that's regional play. Super regional in baseball, you get sent or either you host a super regional. It's one team versus one team, best 2 out of 3. Best 2 out of 3. Florida had to get through. They played 4 games. Where'd they go? They went 3-1 in Stillwater last year, which is no easy thing to do. The Gators ended up playing, or actually, I think they went 4-1. They ended up playing host Oklahoma State 3 times last year. They knocked off Nebraska twice, and they took 2 of 3 from Oklahoma State. That is hard to do. After the Gators won that, they then, because of the virtue of not having a great regular season and not being ranked real high, they then were sent to Clemson, South Carolina. And if you know anything about Clemson baseball, much like Clemson football, that's a tough home crowd to play in front of. Florida goes to Clemson last year, super regional, 3 games if necessary, 2 out of 3, and the Gators win 2 in a row. They end up sweeping Clemson, but, man, it was an absolute dogfight to get out of Clemson, South Carolina, even though they won 2 games in a row. The second game went 13 innings. It had a little bit of everything. Point being, that is a path that you don't want to continuously take. You are going to fail on that path a lot more than you are going to win, succeed really in that path. So hopefully Florida can lighten the load by having at least a regional in Gainesville. We'll see. Final regular season weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The Gators, by the way, let me give you some times here. Florida, tonight, first pitch with Alabama in Gainesville, 6:30 SEC Network Plus. Friday, also 6:30 first pitch, Florida, Alabama, also SEC Network Plus. Saturday, the finale game will be at 4 o'clock Saturday, Florida, Alabama, all 3 games, SEC Network Plus. So, Florida, Alabama, if you're making some plans to kind of keep an eye on this thing and or watch a lot of the games, Florida, Alabama, 6:30 tonight, 6:30 tomorrow, Friday, and 4 o'clock Saturday, all on SEC Network Plus. Florida State, North Carolina, a massive series. And there are some throw-ins here with regard to the ACC. They've got a couple situations that are just rub of the green, man. Sometimes things happen. Number one, remember, Florida State is missing an entire series. Florida State versus Virginia was canceled a couple weeks ago because of the horrific shooting on campus in Tallahassee. There's just nowhere to fix that. That's just gone. Florida State, Virginia did not play any games that weekend. That series is wiped off the books. Secondarily, unfortunately, when you look at the ACC, last weekend, a big weekend, North Carolina and NC State played each other. Well, they played 2 of 3 games because the third game was rained out. That will not be made up. So there's some awkwardness with the ACC and some missed games. FSU in conference this year, ACC 16-8. North Carolina State 16-9. Georgia Tech 17-10. North Carolina, who plays Florida State in a 3-game set, they are 16-10. As I have researched it, if North Carolina sweeps, they will win the regular season. And I'm not positive on the tiebreakers across the board, but from what I understand, it is a major series. North Carolina would have to sweep Florida State, but they would then go ahead of the Noles and win it. I think winning the conference, if you're in one of the Power Fours, if you win your conference regular season outright, that pretty much assures you, I would think, of hosting the second round, which would be the super regional round, if you make it that far. Obviously, you would have to get out of your regional round. But, yeah, there's still some value, still some real value. Also, as we break down the 2 big series coming up in college baseball tonight, kicking off in Gainesville and Tallahassee, Florida, it looks like, and the Gators got their pitching rotation a little kind of out of whack because of weather starting a couple weeks ago in South Carolina. But, and I jotted this down. Let me find it. Florida, it looks like, is going back to what they think is more of their traditional rotation. Liam Peterson will get the ball tonight. Pierce Coppola, the big lefty, will get the ball tomorrow. And then Aiden King, who turned in the gym last Sunday in Austin, he'll go back to his normal third weekend day. And I'll say weekend because Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'm going to go ahead and call that a weekend. Aiden King will be back to his traditional third start of the big weekend series. So it looks like Florida will go Peterson, Coppola, and I would guess Coppola, if things go well, if they could get 3 innings out of him, they'll yank him. He's trying to throw his way back into shape. But Peterson, Coppola, King, it looks like in that order, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, starters for the Florida Gators. Florida State, interesting situation. North Carolina is really good. Again, Florida State, right now, Baseball America has them ranked 2nd in the nation. North Carolina, 4th in the nation. The Tar Heels come into Tallahassee in a mega series coming up. That's also, let me go over their times. Florida State, North Carolina tonight, 7 o'clock first pitch. 7 o'clock tonight, Florida State hosting North Carolina, ACC Network. Their Friday game tomorrow, also 7 o'clock first pitch, ACC Network. The final game, Florida State, final regular season game for both, will be Saturday at 2 o'clock on ACC Network Plus, it looks like. So all TV games, you got to find them. Interesting situation. Again, Florida State and Virginia will not make up their series. That series was tragically eliminated because of the shooting on campus a couple weeks ago in Tallahassee. Virginia was in town to play that weekend until that tragedy happened. They're just going to go by that. Sometimes there's just nothing you can do. There's a time crunch between this weekend. You can't squeeze in 3 games going into Charlotte for the ACC baseball championship. So quickly, I wanted to get out a couple things about Florida State, North Carolina baseball. ACC regular season title on the line, basically. Florida State ace Jamie Arnold will go for the Noles. He is a high draft pick. He's projected in the top 5, maybe top 10, but no further than that. He'll go very high. He's the ace for the Noles. He'll go tonight. 6-1, 2.21 ERA. He will be facing his mound opponent, if you will, for North Carolina, Jake Knapp. Jake Knapp for North Carolina is 10-0 on the year. Remember, again, North Carolina is ranked 4th in the country. They've got great baseball pedigree. Jake Knapp the North Carolina starter for tonight. 10-0, 2.03 ERA. Arnold for Florida State, 2.21 ERA, 6-1. Knapp for Carolina, 10-0, 2.03, which is ridiculous in college baseball. And, oh, by the way, I saw this in my prep here. North Carolina starter, and I don't know how this plays, big right-hander Jake Knapp. When I say big right-hander, the pregame notes say that Jake Knapp from North Carolina goes 6'5", 270. Oh, my God. 6'5", 270. So a hellacious what we'd expect. You've got 2.03 ERA tonight in Tallahassee facing off 2.21 ERA. That is nuts. Nuts in college baseball. So they have it real quick. Some other news and notes going back to Florida, Alabama. Man, I didn't realize these numbers. According to Florida's release going into the Florida-Alabama baseball series, Florida has won 23 of the last 26 games they've played against Alabama. The Gators own an all-time 70-59 series lead over Alabama. And in Gainesville, Florida has a lead of 35 wins, 19 losses. Man, I didn't realize Florida has dominated. Alabama's got pretty good baseball heritage. I mean, they've made Omaha a few times. They actually were. I kind of remember this because it was my senior year. Way back in the early 80s, they made the final game. Alabama lost to Texas, I think, in the final championship game. Alabama's got some pretty good baseball heritage. Florida 70-59 surprised me a little bit. And Florida taking 23 of 26 tells you that Alabama's played pretty good baseball. It took 23 of 26 to get to the point where Florida has 11 wins overall with Alabama. So there you have it. Some of the look ahead. Other things, particularly from the SEC, that will kind of play their way out this weekend in the final baseball regular season weekend in the SEC. Texas, don't look now. As bad as Texas has played their last couple of series, obviously Arkansas swept Texas, and Florida took 2 of 3 from Texas. The Longhorns not playing their best baseball. Texas still can clinch first place outright in the SEC. That would be a big deal. This is the Longhorns' first season as a full-fledged member. So Texas trying to close it out in baseball, kind of to feel good going into the Hoover tournament next week. Vanderbilt and Tennessee, they played a really contentious 3-game series last weekend. Vanderbilt took 2 of 3 in Knoxville. That was a big deal. Vandy and Tennessee playing different opponents, but they're both kind of fighting for top 4 seeds. As I understand it, the top 4 seeds in the SEC baseball tournament, they'll get a double bye. The top 8 will get the first round bye, and then the bottom 8 will play the opening day. Everybody, in case you don't know, this is kind of new. Everybody in the SEC goes to the tournament this year, all 16. There was a period where when it was 14 teams before the expansion with Oklahoma and Texas, I think it was 12 of the 14 would go. 2 would get left home. Everybody goes this year. I'm not sure that will always hold, but everybody will go, including the bottom of the rankings, Missouri and South Carolina. And now, don't look now, Texas A&M. So Vandy, Tennessee, they're fighting this final weekend, different opponents to try and finish in the top 4. Texas A&M hanging on by a thread after their debacle against Missouri several over the weekend. Let me try and find out. I've got the schedule here. Who's where? Let me get back here and find it. I've got it written somewhere in my my multiple notes. I'll find it here. I want to see who's. Here we go. Coming up this weekend, final regular season weekend. Obviously, we know Bama is at Florida. A&M is at Georgia. A&M, Texas A&M, the preseason number 1 team in the nation in most baseball publications. They are teetering on the brink of not even making postseason play. A&M is at Georgia this weekend. A&M needs a sweep. It would be hard for A&M to get the series win. So good luck with that. Mississippi State is at Missouri. Missouri is feeling good about themselves. Kentucky, Vanderbilt, LSU, South Carolina. Auburn playing good baseball at Ole Miss. Texas is at Oklahoma. Texas needs to play good baseball going in the Hoover. And then a really, really dogfight of a series. Tennessee is at Arkansas to close out the SEC baseball regular season. All right, so there you have it. We'll probably get back a little bit into SEC and ACC baseball in hour number 2 when we welcome Brent Beaird to the program. We'll do that after the top of the hour. Major League Baseball news and notes. We want to touch on also the NBA playoffs are really, really taking shape. That and a whole lot more. Stay with us. It's 1 down, 1 to go. An hour left here on a Thursday edition of the Young and Norvelle Show, coming to you from our Thursday home, the patio at Sliders Oyster Bar.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms. Whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV, you can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who's coming to your house. You know they will be well trained and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at boldcityac.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. boldcityac.com, and they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bolt City Heating and Air at BoltCityAC.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
Okay, let's get back into it. It's never not football season, as we see a bunch of college football helmets. Gosh darn, we're well under 100 days, I think, from kickoff as we welcome you back to the Young and Norvelle Show. Terry Norvelle here, sitting at our Thursday home. You know it by now. I want to thank the good folks, Chris and Deanna Wooten. They've supported our show for years. Whatever we ask, they do. We're here every Thursday on the patio. Brent Beaird joining us. We may hear from Patrick a little bit later. And, of course, Casey Kurtz hitting all the buttons, making this all happen. Mr. Brent Beaird, how's this for a Thursday weather-wise? Woo.
Well, it's a tad warmer than I'd like, but we're doing the best we can with everything. But we do have some college football news here that is a good that's a good thing too.
Oh,
so I did find out that Lindy's is going to be actually later than we thought it was going to be, Terry.
Yeah, I saw your notes, and I may have cursed you a little bit. You teased me a little bit. What do we got with Lindy's football magazine? What do you know now?
I think what has happened is very simply and we thought this would happen eventually. They were out last year on May the 23rd. This year, it's going to be the national magazine is coming out on June the 3rd, and the SEC magazine is coming out basically almost a week later a month later than last year. But the SEC magazine is coming out on the 17th of June. So that is later than normal. But when you're trying to get rosters set, I do too. And look, even with that, you know good and well, they've had to have a deadline of what, 3 weeks earlier than when they're coming out at least.
Absolutely. And Brent, I feel for the and you and I are nut jobs for college football magazines. We were raised on college football magazines.
Yeah.
And certainly we understand the electronic media and where it's going and squeezing out, the newspaper world, the magazine world. We get all that, but they're trying hard, and they've got a tough job because, Brent, some people may say, well, they got a tough job. You got the portal movement still going on. You hate to send your book out, and there's a bunch of dated material or non-dated material in there, and some people would say, why not just wait until August 1st? Well, you can't really wait on your magazines till August 1st because college football exposure then has started. Your magazine would get buried because every electronic media is everybody in Alabama is doing their Auburn and Alabama story. Everybody in Florida is doing Florida State, Miami, and right. So they're in such a tough spot because nobody put the college football calendar as we know it together and considered the magazines, and they're in a bad spot, man. They're in a bad spot.
They are. Now, to your point, if they actually did wait to August, I've said for years, the best time to actually put one out or to get your information would be with the first week of fall camp, and then you'd be a lot more accurate. But that's correct. You do it now.
Lose sales. I think you would. I think there'd be a 30% group that just, man, I can turn my TV on right now and SEC Network, ACC Network, ESPN. There's the Fox is doing their preview, and this is ABC's. I think they would lose sales, unfortunately, because some of that ancillary buy would say, hell, we're 3.5 weeks from kickoff. I can. The radio tells me, the streaming tells me, they're in a tough spot. I love the magazines and miss them. Brent, you and I don't know if we've talked since a lot of the kickoff times have been set, and we went over them, and I like some of them. The one kickoff time that really has rankled a lot of feathers, boy, a lot of people are mad about Texas at Ohio State, noon on Fox. I applaud Fox a little bit. I don't care if they're played early because I have trouble staying up past 11 o'clock. And I'm being
Yeah,
serious
I
about
know.
that.
I understand
And
that.
you too. I don't mind it, but I'm in the minority. I get it. That's a big game that probably should be in prime time. One thing though that I tip my hat to Fox, they came out with a philosophy a couple years ago, and their philosophy, right, wrong, or indifferent, they said, "Hey, we're in a battle with ABC, ESPN, ABC.
Right, right.
We're also in a battle with CBS. We're in a battle to get eyeballs that turn into dollars." Fox said, "You know what? I think our research says the best way to handle a college football Saturday is grab the big audience early and hold on to them."
Yes, yes.
That's their philosophy. They want to put a big game at noon after their great show, and they say, we're going to have a big number right out of the gate at 12:01 on Saturday, and we're going to then pitch our 3:30, and then we're going to then pitch our 7:30 game. They've right, wrong, or indifferent, that's their philosophy, Brent, and they've stuck to it. And they've made some people mad, but what do you think about all that?
Yeah, well, the big thing is I've got this big show, they call it, and they've got about probably about 6 to 10 analysts on it.
Yeah.
So after, I mean, look, frankly, I mean, you know, it's a lot of hype, but it's a good show in a lot of ways. And frankly, it rivals game day. So they really want to take that momentum into the next few minutes and capture folks. And Terry, to your point, if you get somebody in that first game, you very well may keep them for the rest of the day. Now, ABC has done this with the SEC, and they were really smart with this. And I mean, First Coast News has ABC, and they get the 12:30, 3:30, 6:30, or 1-4-7, whichever one you want to look at there, as a triple header. So I'm with you. The Fox situation, it'll be hot. Probably won't be as hot in Columbus as it will be, say, in Tallahassee for that for the Alabama game. But I get the logic with Fox by doing so.
I do too, and you know what? I get the logic. I don't know if I totally agree with the logic, but I get where they're going, and they've stuck by their guns. Remember, they made this decision a couple years ago, and they said, we're really going all in. I remember the press release. I remember reading about, well, why are they? And they said, hey, we think we've got a great lead-in show every Saturday morning. We're going to get people to watch 11 to 12 especially. And we want to hand them that they don't want to get beat out of Fox thought they were getting beat out of the starting block. And I wrote some stuff down, they thought that, for instance, CBS and or SEC, ABC. Okay. Years gone by, the SEC would throw Ole Miss, South Carolina at noon. They would throw LSU, Tennessee at 3:30 with a massive carryover audience. And then they would chase that with Bama, Georgia. And the eyeballs just expanded all day. And Fox used to, they would have Ohio State, Penn State, their 7:30 game. Well, they felt like they lost so many eyeballs, it was hard to get them to come back. So they said, we're going to counter. We want to start with a mega game and then tell the eyeballs to stay with us, man. Stay with us. And that's their philosophy, and they've stuck with it.
Now, think about this for Fox. Fox came within it was very close, I can tell you that, of getting Reese Davis for that morning show. And imagine, imagine what that would have been like, how much momentum that would have given them to do it. Now, obviously, you've got Nick Saban on game day now, and that really helps them. And again, Corso's last, and people won't understand this until it happens, but game day is going to be up in Columbus too, for Columbus for Kurt Corso's last show. So that will be interesting. But yeah, all in all, I mean that's kind of what you got with the games. Frankly, on that first weekend, you've got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
And don't think for a second, and this will happen against Fox, but it's happening for Fox on that first weekend. Don't you think for a second that Fox isn't ecstatic that Ohio State, which is their property, obviously Big Ten, Fox, that's their property,
right?
But they get to piggyback one of the SEC big boys.
Yeah, they
right?
do.
Don't you think they don't love the fact that Texas
sure
is
the
opponent? So they can't really do Texas, but they can do Texas when Texas is the opponent.
Yeah, they can. They can.
And they're absolutely they're loving that. Hey, you mentioned the weekend and that Labor Day weekend, and we'll say the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. There's a lot to like about that first weekend, and we went over it in different times, and we can go back. One thing I don't like, and it will be a Debbie Downer. I understand why the game is put where it's at.
Yeah.
And I understand there'll be some, at least early eyeballs. But Brent Beaird, Labor Day night, I want a better game than I want a better football game than TCU, North Carolina. And I understand the storyline, but that storyline is going to wear out. That's not a very good game.
Can you imagine if they had swung a deal and got LSU Clemson on Monday night?
Oh my God.
Instead of North Carolina? Look, to your point, I mean, Terry, they'll show the girlfriend a few times, and then they'll talk about it a little bit. And then after that, the problem with this, listen, the problem with this game, TCU at North Carolina, is people will be worn out. They'll be asleep by halftime, won't they?
They really will. They really will. And as much as we are a football society, I'll compare this to where Monday night football in the NFL has suffered because they ate their own. The NFL, the NFL, as popular as it is, you get so much footballed out that Monday nights, I don't care how fervent you are of an NFL guy, you're beat up and wore out by Monday night. Remember the old days of Monday Night Football? You were still football hungry because you only had a couple games on Sunday.
Right.
You were still there was no Thursday, no Friday. So you were football. You are about ready to regurgitate football as much as we love it. Monday night, that's what's going to happen. You need a good game that Labor Day night. The Bill Belichick girlfriend story, that's cute. Brent, that's a bad game on Labor Day night. That's bad for football.
It is. I agree with that. Now, this is something we need to talk about later on down the line, and I'm just going to throw this out here. And they'll deny this right now, and I think it would be. And I actually think it would be oversaturation. But I'm telling you, the day's coming when the NFL is going to have teams overseas. I'm not saying they're going to have a dozen of them, but they're going to have games overseas. And I'm just telling you, Terry, they're right now, they're on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday at different times of the year. I'm just telling you, their goal eventually, they want a game on every night of the week.
It sounds like, and they certainly, man, they know what they're doing, man. They don't miss much. But they have cannibalized their their own Monday Night Football.
Oh yeah.
And I guess their theory is maybe just like Fox, if you can get the eyeballs earlier and keep them. Now they want to get them Thursday, Friday, Saturday for Sunday.
Yeah.
And they've cannibalized. And I always say this. I think there's a reason the NFL has never dipped its toe into spring football.
Yeah.
They understand that there is a saturation point. And I think so many of these networks and broadcasting streaming sites, so many have thrown $1 billion at them that they took them all.
Sure.
But
they did.
And they said, you know what? We've killed. Nobody else has killed. Monday Night Football is not the thing anymore.
No.
Sunday Night Football is the thing.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
Monday Night
absolutely. Football is a afterthought, and it's an afterthought not because something else took it over. The NFL cannibalized itself.
Oh yeah.
Finally.
Yeah. Now I do love this Labor Day stuff. I know it stretches out, but here's the thing that college football is waking up to, where they need to have more inventory is Sunday. The Sunday, you've got Sunday of Labor Day weekend. Okay, everybody and their brother is off the next day. Well, you've got two pretty good games, South Carolina, Virginia Tech, and Atlanta, and then Notre Dame at Miami.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, that might be the most watched game of the weekend, frankly. Because what they really need to do, they need to have more games on that Sunday.
Because Brent, the rest of the football season, and I get it, college football doesn't generally do Sunday. The rest of the football season, if you did anything on Sunday, this is the only Sunday non-NFL.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, that's exactly. Now you remember like I do. It seemed like a lifetime ago now. Where do you remember some of those? You'd have Louisiana Tech, or you'd have Miami, Ohio, and somebody. And we actually had college football. People may not remember this on Sunday night. Now, it wouldn't. It was not a game that was going to drive a lot of eyeballs, frankly. But I remember that distinctly of doing that. I don't think that they'll ever do that again, but it did happen.
And Brent, going back to Sunday, August 31st, I love the fact that we have two games: South Carolina, Virginia Tech, 3:00, Labor Day Sunday weekend. Notre Dame, Miami, 7:30. It wasn't too long ago. There was only one, and it wasn't a great game.
Well, that's right.
Those are watchable. Hopefully, Virginia Tech will put up a good fight. But you've got Lenora Sellers. You've got his Heisman candidacy. Is South Carolina real? South Carolina needs to go out and put a big number. And then you're right. That Notre Dame Miami game. I mean, Notre Dame played for like them or not, Notre Dame played for the national championship last year.
Yes.
Their coach, Marcus Freeman, his demeanor in the playoffs, he won a lot of people over.
He did.
A lot of people went, man, this Notre Dame guy's, he's sharp. He's got it. He's calculated. That could be a big game, a big game. Thursday, the kick. I like Nebraska-Cincy. I just wish that's Thursday the 28th. That's basically one of the kickoff games.
Yes.
I just wish it wasn't a 9:30 kick.
Yeah, I get it. Oh, yeah.
But how about Friday? How about Friday of Labor Day weekend? Friday, Georgia Tech at Colorado, and that's at Colorado, not a neutral site.
Yeah, right.
That is there will be not just Dion. That's a compelling game.
Yeah, it is. That's a strong game. Hey, Haynes King comes back for Georgia Tech. Now, Colorado is going to have to get a new quarterback. Obviously, Sanders is at the NFL, but very intriguing game. Now, Terry, here's the reality. If you're TV and you want Colorado, don't you get them early in case they do a nosedive starting at the middle of the season?
That's a really good point. You get them early, and your selling point. No knock at Georgia Tech, but your selling point is, all right, folks, let's take a look at Dion without the two superstars.
Yeah, that's right.
Can Dion coach his way to a win without without the two hired guns, if you will? Yeah. But you're right. That's a good point. If early you earmark Colorado in late October, early November, you may be biting. I don't know. You may be biting off a 3-win team.
Oh,
back,
yeah. Now, going back to Sunday for just a minute, that Notre Dame-Miami game. Now I'm telling you, and that game's in Coral Gables. I'm telling you, Terry, they need to win that game. They don't need to go through all this. We got the number one player away from Georgia and Oregon all summer long, and come out against Notre Dame and end up losing 17-3.
Yeah, big game, and that game affects Florida a little bit. If Miami was to knock off Notre Dame,
the
Gators roll into Miami 2 weeks later?
Yeah, they sure do. Yes,
and Florida, I don't think they don't have anybody that will knock them off before, right?
No,
no, I don't think so. If Miami knocks off Notre Dame, Florida-Miami in Miami is a massive game.
It would be. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
A massive, massive game. Brent, hang tight if you can. We're going to take a quick break, come back. We got a lot of real big-time baseball going on in a few hours in Gainesville and Tallahassee, all over the ACC and all over the SEC. We'll get into that. And, Brent, I want to get your thoughts. Obviously, you peeked at the Jaguars schedule like we all have. Casey and I kicked it around earlier. I don't know if you've broken it down. We'll take your thoughts on several months out, the Jaguars schedule as the 2025 schedule hit yesterday, sort of. I guess it got leaked like crazy, but it is out. That and a whole lot more. He's Brent Beaird. I'm Terry Norvelle. Stay with us right here. We're coming back live on the patio at Sliders Oyster Bar.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry. We still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com. And while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
Okay, let's jump right back in. And as you see the ferocious Gator there in and around Gainesville. Welcome back. Terry Norvelle here on a Thursday. You know if it's Thursday, we're set up live at our Thursday home. You know it by now. Sliders Oyster Bar. This will be a hub for dancing in the streets this Saturday. Man, this place, they will have different drink stations. They will handle a big crowd. Make sure it's one of your stops this Saturday, dancing in the streets. It is a long-time tradition. My God, this thing must have been going on about 40 years. And I think the weather is supposed to be good as we welcome our buddy Brent Beaird back to the show. Brent, real quick, you spent a lot of time writing different publications in and around Clay County. St. John's Country Day.
Yes.
Right? That's kind of a Clay County school. We claim them as one of our own here in our area. They are playing tonight for a state baseball championship. And I think you've covered them for years. This is nothing new, man. They play good baseball. They're taking on Canterbury tonight at 7.
This is a big deal. It really is. I believe that St. John's is a 1A club, but
yes.
If you're good in baseball, they'll find you. And they've had some guys who played college baseball. That is a good program overall. I know Tracy Livingston was the athletic director there for years when I was writing for the Times Union in Clay County. But
right.
And the other part of them that really has been amazing, Mike Pickett, who is the girls' soccer coach, they won state that they won like 10 in a row state championships.
Wow.
I mean, they really were amazing. I think the competition's got a little stiffer behind them and they got a little younger, but overall, that is a good program. And by the way, I'm glad you mentioned this. There are spring football games all around tomorrow night.
How about that?
And they've got some like almost every day of the week next week. They've got like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Some of them are jamborees. Some of them are just straight up games. So if you're associated with a high school in the area, I encourage folks to go out and watch some of these games.
Yeah, and Brent, I don't have the exact dates, but most of your schools are right about graduating right now.
Next Friday.
Next week, a lot of them, and I think there's a bunch of them graduating next week.
Yes.
So, man, you gotta love high school football. Your final week before your vacation. Hey, Coach says, if you want a jersey next year, I need to see you here during the spring. And oh, by the way, if you think you're just going to lay around all summer and eat and get fat, we're going to have some weight workouts as well. I need to see you signing up. That game of football, you got to love it though, don't you? You got to love it to play it.
It's funny you said that. Now I'm going to make a blanket statement here. I'm not going to be specific, but when I go into the gym, I see these. I see these. I almost want to call them boys and girls. I mean, they're young men and women. They've got their school colors on, their school shirt on, and so forth. You know, what's actually going on here is they're working their phone out a whole lot more than they're working their body out.
They're on that. They're not on the squat machine as much as they're on the phone machine.
Yeah, and that's That's part of the problem. They're struggling
Hey,
too.
you know, you go into the gym and they got the bench machine, the
Mhm.
bicep, and they got the tricep, and they got the. If they put a bunch of old timey phone booths where you can go in and keep quiet, those kids would be in there more than they'd be on the bench press, right?
Oh, listen, I remember, and with the Comcast Game of the Week with Jeremy Bloyd, and you did it more than we did, but we did a lot of bowls games, and I'll tell you what, a lot of people were very jealous and envious of bowls, but I tell you when they won, they were in that dadgum weight room every day, and they were in. Then when Terry, tell me I'm not kidding here. Corky, when Corky walked in that weight room, you better not be resting, right?
Hey, Coach Rogers, his office was basically in the weight room, which is underneath the grandstand of the football stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
It was a good time back then. Brent, we've got a hellacious final weekend of SEC and ACC college baseball, massive weekend. And I say weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Everybody wants to get an extra day for their trip to their conference championship games. What do you know about Alabama baseball? I've followed them from afar. I haven't seen a lot of them. Alabama's been ranked 15th or so all year long. They're having a good year. They're in Gainesville tonight, Friday and Saturday. Big series, probably bigger for Florida than Alabama. What do you know much about Alabama? Obviously, they're good. They've been highly ranked all year.
They are much improved. Now, obviously, they fired their knucklehead coach who got caught putting the big bat on, and they basically got rid of him very quickly. But they have recovered and really done quite well. They've got a very good shortstop who I think Major League Baseball is looking at. So, and Terry, this would have been no way a few years ago, but they're probably hosting a regional by the way too. So that would be interesting. I think the way it's going now, I think they probably win one game and Florida wins the series in this one. But I was saying, and I'm curious what you think about this. I've already heard a lot about this. Next week is the beloved SEC baseball tournament in Hoover. Now that Terry, that starts what, Wednesday, or is it Tuesday?
I think it may be for the lower seeds Tuesday. I think it's a 6-day. It's a 6-day single elimination now. But yeah, I think it starts on Tuesday. If I understand it right, everybody goes. By the way, the days of only the top 12 go. Everybody goes. So and it's been changed. It's single elimination the whole way. So I think the bottom 8 teams. The bottom 4, I think, will start playing Tuesday.
Yeah.
The bottom total 8 will play Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah. And if you're a high enough ranked team, you get a couple of buys. If you're like the top 8, I think you get a couple buys. They changed it, though. Everybody goes.
Here's the thing with that. I've already heard a lot of this, and we heard the same thing with the SEC basketball tournament is this a waste of time? Well, frankly, it is for some teams. Now, there are others that they may be playing for a little bit better seating at the most, but at the same time, it's really not going to, I'm not saying these teams are going to tank these games, but I don't think you're going to start your ace in the SEC tournament, are you, Terry?
No, your point's a good one about, particularly now that it's a single elimination, nobody's going to go out there and go 0-2 barbecue. 0-2 barbecue, I think the D1 baseball, the committee sees 0-2 barbecue, and they go, gosh darn, they went out. You go out there and you lose one, and you're done. I don't think that's as damning for you, and especially the higher ranked guys. But you're right. I'm pulling up the SEC standings right now. And, Texas is getting a regional, the Texases, the Arkansas, the LSUs, the Tennessees, they're getting a regional, and they've probably done enough to where their national seed will be such if they make it out of the regional, they probably will get a super regional as well. But there's a group. I mean, Alabama, Ole Miss, Florida, depending on what they do with Alabama. If Florida was to win the Alabama series, I think they're going to get a regional no matter what. But then if they go get one win in Hoover, then I think they're definitely getting a regional. And remember, Florida had, I mean, that path they took last year doesn't happen very often. They were on the road at Stillwater for the regional, played 5 games, had to play the host team 3 times. They fought their way out 4-1. Then they got sent to Clemson for the Super Regional. They swept Clemson, but the second game was 13-inning thriller. Hey, Brent, you don't go back-to-back road series in college baseball and live to tell about it very often. That's not the path you want. At least get a regional, so then your Super Regional, okay. It's tough to go regional, Super Regional on the road back-to-back. Really tough.
What does this tell you, though, about this conference? I mean, obviously, Texas and Arkansas, 20 wins, 18 wins. But then you get with LSU at 17-10. You've got 3 teams, Vandy, Georgia, and Auburn at 16-11.
16-11,
2 more at 15-12. And then you've got – and Florida's in this pack, and so is Mississippi State. I mean, you've basically got what, Terry? 1, 2, 3, 4, Ole Miss, Kentucky, Oklahoma, Florida, Mississippi State, who have all got, I mean, they're either 500 or just below 500. Could this tournament, for those teams, could the tournament make a difference for them?
It really could. I'll tell you who it could really make a difference, and I want to pull this up if I can get back to the schedule. Okay, here we go. Texas A&M is at Georgia. Georgia's good this year. Georgia's going to host a regional. Georgia probably, if they win the regional, will host a super. Georgia's good this year.
They are.
Texas A&M, the program that probably needs Hoover the most is Texas A&M. They're 10-17. Remember, 12 wins has never gotten you into the regional. You need 13. We think Florida would have gotten it. Florida's got 13 now, so they're in. We think Florida probably would have got in with 12, but nobody's ever done it.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're looking at Texas A&M. They've got 10 wins in conference, 10-17. The odds of them sweeping Georgia to get to 13 are very low. Actually, the odds of A&M getting 1 win are probably low. If A&M gets 1 out of 3, they go to 11. They really need to win a couple in Hoover. So they need A&M needs Hoover. But I mean, Missouri 3-24, miracle, or they're done. South Carolina 5-22. A&M's right behind those two. A&M is the team that needs a run in Hoover more than anybody.
Now, tell me how rare this is. 40 win teams in the SEC. Texas, Arkansas, LSU is 3, Georgia's 4, Tennessee is 5, and then you've got Vandy with 36, Auburn with 37, Bama with 39, Ole Miss with 35. Terry, my point is you're almost looking at double-digit schools with 40 wins. Yeah. How often does that happen in a conference?
And when you factor in, when this thing is all done on late Saturday, Sunday morning, those teams you referenced with all those wins, a minimum of 30 of their games were played in that conference. You played 30 conference games.
That's what I mean. Absolutely.
I mean, you play 30 conference games. And that's why when you've got the standing listed like I do and you do, I think right now, when you look overall record and it says, it's so funny how close the loss number is. Texas, 10 losses, 7 in conference. Arkansas, 11 losses, 9 of them. They only lost 2 non-conference games, right?
Right.
I mean,
right.
LSU, 12 total losses, 10 were in conference. I mean, how about Alabama? 39-13. They roll into Gainesville in a few hours to play. Alabama 39-13. They have lost 12 of their 13 games in conference.
Oh yeah, yeah. And Terry, by the way, Florida's probably going to reach 40, and they may reach 40 by the end of next week. Now, a month ago, in their dreams, did they think they'd win 40 games?
Not at all. Not at all. It's eerily similar to what they did last year, but like I said, I hope it's eerily similar with a difference. I hope Florida can get at least a regional site because, man, it is a bear to go on the road, regional and super regional, and try to win. It was a bear. I don't know if you followed Florida State. Boy, Florida State's in this situation this weekend. They're trying to close out the Atlantic Coast Conference regular season baseball title. They've got a game lead. There's like 4 teams. Do you realize – and I didn't until this morning. Florida State hosts North Carolina. North Carolina, if they were to sweep the Noles, which is hard, if they were to sweep the Noles, they could win the regular season. I think there's value in that.
Yeah.
FSU in Baseball America right now, FSU's 2 in the country. North Carolina's 4 in the country. How about that? You got 2 and 4 knocking heads in Tallahassee, for God's sake.
Well, and by the way, before we go out today, I was at the FSU booster meeting last night with the basketball coach and the football coach there, and want to get into that a little bit. But Florida State is. I mean, could this be the year? Are they, Terry? Are they good enough to go to get it? To maybe win the whole thing. I don't know, but that's fascinating to think about.
Yeah, from seeing them this year several times and hearing about their team, I don't think they have a great second, third, fourth starter. And Jamie Arnold, their ace, will go in the top 5 of the draft. From what I understand, they just don't have enough arms behind him to get them that far. But they're good. Florida State is good.
Oh yeah,
they're loaded. So should be a lot of fun. Brent, have you had a chance to dissect kind of the Jaguars' schedule? I know most NFL schedules are looking like because they're all 32 teams and they all play each other. You know?
Yeah. Now remind me about this. They've only got 1 London game, right?
Yes, 1 this year, as I understand it. Yes.
Yeah. I think that's a real advantage for them to only have 1 and have to deal with that. But I was somewhere today, and one of the women who worked there saw me, and she ran up to me and talked about how excited she was to get Travis Hunter. And I said, so does that mean we're going to really do something this year? I said, look, your reality here is you need 12 Travis Hunters. You don't need just 1.
I'll tell you, I agree with that. At some point, the exuberance is going to I've tried to tell some Jaguar fans, I said, in terms of what this team needed, I mean, Travis Hunter is a really good player. I think he's going to have a nice career. I don't know if it's going to be a Hall of Fame career, going to be a good, solid career. I don't think anybody doubts. Travis Hunter will help any team he goes to, including the Jaguars.
Right.
The issue I try and tell Jaguar fans that bump into me as well when we're out and about is, to me, the Jaguars put a beautiful paint job on their house, even though they know the foundation needs work.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, but boy, that paint job looks good, but the foundation is cracking and needs work. It's kind of how I explain it.
And look, there may be some excitement early on you beat the Panthers, but I mean, Terry, you've got Bengals, Texans, at the 49ers, Chiefs, Seahawks. I mean, that my gosh, and then the Rams, and then they've got a bye. But I mean, Terry, look, again, we're not trying to be Debbie Downer here. We're just trying to be realistic. They they could easily be 1 and whatever before that bye.
I tell you, and Casey and I kicked it around, and most of the national and regional guys I've heard today and yesterday kind of agree. Those first five or six games are rough, man. It looks rough.
They really are.
I've already proclaimed, I think their biggest game of the year, this is going to sound crazy, they almost have to beat the Panthers week 1 in Jacksonville. I mean, you know, I don't think you can bank on, well, week 2, the Bengals, they always start slow. Well, that's going to end. I know they're the LSU of NFL. I'm telling you, I think that game with the Panthers is they've got to beat them at home to open it. If they lose that one, they're probably going to lose the next one. 0-2.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll tell you another thing. Game 3, if they want to think they're a contender, you almost have to knock off the Texans in your own house. Or if you lose that early to the team that's predicted to be the division winner again, boy, it's going to be hard to fight off. Here they go again.
Well, and look, the 49ers, I get the fact, there's excitement with the Chiefs on Monday night, but look, that is, I don't care who you are, that is a tall order going all the way to San Francisco, coming back and then playing the Chiefs.
Oh man, you're right. And I don't think a lot of teams have great West, coast to coast records. The Jaguars East to West Coast trip record is not very good. And you're right. I know the Chiefs didn't win it all, but the Chiefs were as good. They got bushwhacked in the Super Bowl. The Chiefs were as good as anybody last year. They just got
no question.
And I don't know. Last year at Super Bowl kickoff time, nobody was beating the Eagles. They were just playing good ball. It was falling in place for them. But yeah, the Jaguars, looks like the top 5 games are really tough.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like the bottom 5 could be manageable, and a lot of that asterisk will go Indy. Are the Colts any good? They've got Indy 2 of their last 5. I don't think Anthony Richardson is very good.
No.
If the Jaguars could steal a couple late in the year there, but I've pretty much, with or without seeing the schedule, I mean, I think this is a 6-11-ish team. I pulled up a lot of national stuff today to see what the national people and some of the betting sites are saying. And a lot of the national people were in that 6-7 win range. And most of your betting sites, if you did an over-under win total, most of them have it set with the Jaguars at 7.5, which is making you go, do you think they're going to win 8? Or do you think they're going to win 7 or less? And so they've set that number about 7.5 across the board.
Well,
and I can agree with that.
And look, people don't want to accept this around here, but their division's getting better. I mean, it may be incrementally, frankly. I mean, look, the Titans can't help but be better, right? I'm not. I don't know how quickly they can get Cam Ward going with that. I mean, the Texans are good. That was a tremendous team, and you're right. You don't know what you can get out of the Colts, but you would think there'd be some improvement there at some point.
The real, if you go from the fear factor side, the real fear factor side for the Jaguars 2025 is, what if they just muddle around? I don't think they're going to be 4-13 again. I'm probably in that 6-11 range. If they muddle around and they're 6-11, you still have a lot of holes. You still and a lot of holes would have been exposed. Well, next year is not a fix the holes year, but they don't have a first round pick.
No,
it's hard to
really
fix the holes in the NFL without a first round pick. So.
Mm-hmm.
Man, if they muddle around and have another bad season, which I think they will, I think they mortgage too much. I just think they mortgage too much.
And look, you and I have talked about this till we're blue in the face. I still don't think they have dealt with their offensive line.
No, that's my number one. That's my number one red light blinking. Offensive line.
And I can tell you, Terry, if that offensive line on game one is totally different on that last game, to me, that will tell you how their season had gone.
Yeah, definitely. Brent, we anything new? I guess I haven't heard much. The portal's quiet. I guess players could still.
They can.
11 hours jump around, but it's been awfully quiet football portal, and then we've still got to wait. I think I referenced May 28th. That sticks in my craw. I could go back and look, but I'm too lazy. I think May 28th, from a basketball perspective, is the are you staying in the draft NBA or are you coming out? Which I think a massive story is Alex Condon.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would agree with that. Totally.
So we're less than 2 weeks away. I think there's going to be some big basketball. And are you reading and hearing? It appears that Todd Golden and the Gator boys think they've got a real shot at Boogie Fland coming over from Arkansas.
Look, everything you read on Twitter points to the fact that he's going to Florida. And that would be a major get for them. Major get for Florida.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is a guy. Had he stayed healthy, I don't care what the points per game, rebounds, assists. Had he stayed healthy all year at Arkansas, he would be getting his name called in a few weeks.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree.
He's that kind of talent. I tell you, I've seen him play enough. I'll go on record right now, and I kind of pride myself, obviously patting myself on the back here. I kind of pride myself. I think I was the first guy in the world last January that said, this past January, I went, wait a minute. Hey, guys, I've watched a lot of college basketball this year. I think Florida's the best team in the country.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I think I was the first guy to say that, including Todd Golden. Mid-January, I was like, I've seen them all play. I think Florida's better than anybody, particularly on a neutral court. With that said, if Florida brought back all four big men, and Alex Condon is the squirrely one, but if Florida brings back all of their big men and everything else they've got, which I don't think anybody else is going to transfer out, and they then added Boogie Fland, I don't see why you wouldn't have Florida preseason one.
I would agree. Absolutely. Fland's not afraid to play defense either. That's one of the things that really makes him attractive also. So, and listen, speaking of basketball, I was as impressed with Luke Loix, and I may be mispronouncing that, the Florida State basketball coach last night as I was Mike Norvelle. I mean, Norvelle.
Is that right? You went over? Talk about it a little bit.
Yes. Luke, basically, I asked him, I said, why did the ACC struggle as much as they did last year? And he was very transparent about it. He said they spent a lot more money than we did.
How about that?
And they invested a lot more money than we did. So
boy, this is a dead horse. We've beat it, but my God, first and foremost, Florida State athletics, they've got to get the brand back. They really do. The FSU athletic brand. I don't remember. Obviously, we cover Florida State, SEC, then ACC. I don't remember a major brand going this invisible in a long time. The FSU athletic brand is gone off the face of the earth right now, isn't it?
Well, and Terry, I talked to some people there yesterday at the Booster Club, and they basically told me that there is zero interest in basketball right now. Zero. And this is even after that I would give Leonard Hamilton some credit. He had some good NCAA teams. That went to Sweet 16.
Boy, you're right. We're up against it here, but you're right. Boy, Leonard had that 5 or 6 year run.
He did
with big time FSU basketball, and they were winning and competing in the ACC. And it, quote unquote, it never happened. You know what I mean? You never felt it. You never felt, wow, we got something. We can keep this going. Hey, let's and it's too late to get into this, but the off-campus facility doesn't help. I know that they bought it, I think, but it's not. The O'Connell Center. There's 1,000 dorms within walking distance.
There are. Oh yeah, absolutely.
You need that. So, it's an uphill climb for Luke Laux, the new FSU basketball coach. FSU needs baseball to make a run. They need to go back out to Omaha just to see the interlocking FS on national TV, for God's sake. I know it's baseball and it doesn't get a lot of exposure, but man, the FSU brand is dormant, man.
Well, look, the thing FSU needs is to be in the Alabama opener with 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, whether they win or not. They need to be in the game.
Boy, you're right. 40 seconds left. The last thing FSU needs is that mid-third quarter. It's 35-7, and you're just naming the score, and the TVs are being turned off left and right. Brent, good stuff. We'll try to get together tomorrow. Hopefully, we've got a St. John's Country Day baseball state championship to talk about. I know you'll have a note bag of college football, baseball, and basketball we'll go over. Thank you, buddy. Have a good rest of your Thursday.
You too, bud.
That's my main man, Brent Beaird, and that will do it here on a Thursday. As you can hear, the patio literally is filled up right here. Happy hour going strong at Sliders Oyster Bar, indoor bar, and, of course, the Oyster Bar. Yeah, a couple seats you can still squeeze in. They'll be gone soon. That'll wrap it up for Casey Kurtz. I'm Terry Norvelle. Have a great rest of your Thursday. We'll get together tomorrow, 4 o'clock, for the next Young and Norvelle show.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jax 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice 3-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jax app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jax 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device. You're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jax Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because When I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1.